are going to discuss about LVM. So what is LVM? Logical Volume Manager. Why we need LVM? There is some limitations of operating system. The limitations are we can't increase the file system, we can't decrease the file system if you create a volume in OS level. And also, you know already, we can't create the partitions more than 15. If customer need more than 15, you can't able to create. And also, in case you want to decrease the file system, not possible. You want to increase the file system, is not possible. So that's why we go for this LVM. So in this LVM, not only that, you can't suppose, for example, we have a 100 GB hard disk, 2 disks you have, but customer is asking, I need 150 GB. That means by using 100 GB disk, you can't create 150 directly from the OS level. But in LVM level, you can combine this and you can able to create the volume if customer is looking for that. So that is the most important. I think you understand the meaning of this, right? So what is LVM? Logical Volume Manager. Why we need LVM? You understand? Here in LVM, what we are going to do, you have, for example, 3 or 4 disks. These 3 disks are 2 disks are whatever. So you need to make it, first step 1, you need to bring all the disks from OS to operating system to LVM control. So that means they are all in LVM control after bringing into the LVM. So that means LVM disk. LVM disk. OS is converted into LVM. This LVM disk is converted into some group, that is the volume group. That means, like, imagine you have the 10 GB, 10 GB, 10 GB. Now you have 30 GB by taking into the LVM control, then adding to the LVM group, then you have this much. Then you can able to create the volume how much you want, 10 GB, 5 GB, 2 GB, 1 GB. Like you can create n number of how much you want until 30 GB is complete. So that means, like, then you can create the LVMs, how many LVMs you want, you can create how many logical volumes you can create, and you can, the rest of the steps is like format that volume and mount the volume and hand over to the customer. So that means the first disks are coming from the, before this also the disk is coming from the storage. The disk is coming from the storage. You need to bring the disk into the OS control. Once the disk is coming from storage to OS, then you need to bring into the storage to OS, OS to LVM, LVM to volume group to this thing. So these are the whole flow. So this is the most important. So please go ahead. Any questions here? Any questions here about the process, like what we are doing exactly, like, you know, in LVM control, in LVM what we are doing. So in LVM we are doing like all these steps. So now coming to, let's imagine you have the, already we have one disk, already you have one disk. You can do this with the disks as well as partitions also. You can make it partitions and you can combine all partitions together and you can do for practice purpose. Otherwise, let me go with fdisk-l. So I have fdisk-l. So I have one disk 5 GB. So I can create some more disk. I can create some more space here. So let me go to the AWS and I can create 2 hard disks and I can proceed and so just give me 1 second. I'm taking, as this server is coming from AWS, so I'm adding the new, new disk here. So yes, yes, yes. So now we created the server already. That server has already two disks, so we can ignore them, and we can create two disks now for our LVM practice. So I can create. I have 2 GB volume. I have 2 GB volume. Like that, two volumes. I am going to create one C. You know how to create the volume in LVM. So I'm creating 2 GB volume in one C data center, and I am attaching to my server which is running. So this 2 GB I'm attaching to the server, 2 GB I'm attaching to, okay, still it is looking, creating, okay, still it is creating actually. So now it is available. So then you can go action and attach the volume. You can go to the server and attach to the server. That's all, you are all set. Your volume is ready, and you can create another volume. You can create another volume, 2 GB. Now we have the 4 GB, 4 GB, but customer is asking, I need, we have the hard disks like 2 GB, 2 GB disk, for example, but the customer is asking, I need a 5 GB or sorry, 3 GB disk, because we can't go more than 5, right? More than 4, because the total 4. So this is the VM, like the AWS you are managing, so you are creating easily. But in case if it is the physical server, the storage team is doing the same job. So we just need to ask him, hey, create two disks for me like that. Then fdisk-l. You can see there is a two disks, extra disks are with the 2 GB, 2 GB we attach it now. So if you see this, yeah, if you see these two disks, like now you need to, those two disks are in OS control. So the steps are here, like you need to bring into the OS control first. That means there is a limitations and LVM control and PVs and all, right? So that means, like, see, for example, what are the steps we are doing? The disks are in SAN control first, okay? The disks are in SAN control. Then you need to bring into the OS control. That means you need to add into the OS. So once the disk is in OS control, then we need to bring into the LVM control. Then you can add into the group, volume group. Then you can create the LV logical volume, and then the test step is same, like, you need to format mkfs, you need to do. Then once the format is done, then you need to mount the file system. So once it is mounted, this file system, you can make it permanent. Fs tab you can add into Fs tab. That's all, you are all set. Now till now we understand, we bring the disk from storage to OS. Now my OS can able to see disk 1, disk 2. If you see this disk 1, this disk 2, two disks are added from AWS to the Linux. So now my system is can able to see the two hard disks, that is this thing. So now you are very much clear about what is LVM, why we go for LVM, what are the limitations of the OS, limitations of the OS. To overcome that, we'll go for LVM. So to perform the LVM, first we need to install the software, Lvm software. Suppose if I say LVM, the command is not showing. Otherwise, you want to bring a disk into the PV, create, that is not working. That means first you need to install the Lvm software. So you know how to install the software, right? M install and M install install. Okay, what happened? Oh, okay. Okay, 1 second.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah. So the Python software we need to install, I mean Lvm software we need to install. Just to say Lvm star, it is going to install all Lvm related software. So the first step is you need to install the Lvm software. So now my system can understand Lvm commands and all Lvm commands. So my system is responding for Lvm. That means Lvm software is installed. So once it is installed, then what we need to do, you already know you have two disks of disk-l. You can see there is a two disks of disk-l. You have two disks, right? So this disk 1, disk 2. You need to bring these two disks into the PV create. The first step is physical volume conversion. So here the first step is, you already know the disk is under SAN is bring into the OS control from AWS to OS. Now we need to do LVM control. LVM control. So that means like to bring into the LVM control, we need to use this PVS. So PVS is the command to see how many hard disks are in LVM control. As of now, no. create. PV create is the command to bring the disks into the LVM control. So there is a two disks here, this and this. These two disks I need to bring into the LVM control. So you can see PVS, both are in LVM control. Both are in LVM control. So once you understand these two disks are in LVM control, so sometime you can create, sometime immediately you can see, sometime if it is not coming to LVM, so then you need to scan like PV scan, and you can able to see that. And PV display, three commands, like PV display is the one more command to see your PV related whole information. So that means three commands, very easy. PV create, PVS to see how many PVs are there. So PV create to create, PV scan to scan, PV display. That's all. Only PV create is enough. But sometimes if it is not able, you are not able to see the disk, then you need to use PV scan, and PV display will display that. So that is the PV related. Then coming to VZ create, VZ related stuff. So before going to that, any question? That means what we did exactly. So we have the two disks from OS level, that I mean storage level, we bring into the OS level. That means we added to the server. Then we bring into the LVM control. These three disks are in LVM control, two disks. Then I am adding into the one group, that is the volume group. So this PV means this one. So that is the steps we did. So now coming to how to bring into the group. That means you are adding multiple disks into the one place, and that place from there we can use that. Why we are doing all this exercise? Customer is asking they need 3 GB space, but we have only 2 GB disks. We have only 2 GB disks, but customer is asking 3 GB disk. In that case, you need this PVS to see the physical volume and all. So for that VG, yes, you just check, is there any groups are available? No. VG create, VG create. You can create apps VZ or any name, VZI underscore VZ underscore apps. You are creating this group. You are creating a group. VZ underscore apps is the one group name. By taking these disks, that means you are adding these two disks into the volume group. So that means now this group is having 4 GB. This 2 GB and 2 GB, total 4 GB you can able to see in your system. So that means this volume group is having 2 to total 4 GB. So how to add? VZ create, very easy and straight. So now coming to once you understand this, now VGS, you can see there is a volume of 4 GB now. So that is how to sometimes VG, if it is not like now you can see like VGS to check the existing groups, VG create, you understand. Sometimes if it is not coming like VG scan to scan the VGSC, VG scan, just to scan for the groups, and VG display, VG display to display the VG display, and you can give the this name so that you can able to see all the group information. The group information in the sense like, what is the size of the group, how many disks are involving in this, so metadata, two devices are involved, like you can able to see the group information. So that is the one more important, how much free is available, this is important. Even VGS you can see sometime the customer is asking to increase the file system, make sure the free space is available or not, like that. So we'll see that. Okay, now you are very clear about how to create the volume group. So if you understand this, then by using this volume you can take some logical volume. You need to create the logical volume. So for that, first we need to see is there any volume first. So there is a LVM, logical volume manager here. So here, yeah, just one second. Just need to check is there any meetings. So here we need to create the. So here LVM. So the LVs first you need to check the same story. Is there any LVs? Logical volumes is here. So if there is no LV, then we need to create the logical volume. Very easy. LV create, how much size you want, from which group. So straight, see, LV create is the command -L, and the size of the volume. So we need 3 GB, because 3 GB. How much you want, you can create. The volume name, what is the volume name -N, and the name from which group you are creating. Just you can create. So LVS, now you can see the logical volume. So it's very easy actually. So what is LVM? Why we need LVM? How to create LVM? So how to see the LVM, like LVs, how to see the LVs. Then LV scan, same story. LV scan is the command to scan the LV, and LV display to display the logical volume. Same story. Once you create the LVM, you need to format the same way how we formatted like MKFS, MKFS to format the disk, right? So suppose like see MKFS, and whatever the volume you created from which group, you need to give the whole path dev, under dev, group name and volume name. So now my disk is formatted, my volume is new volume is formatted. Then the same story, you can create a directory, and the directory is already there, so you can also mount from here itself. So how to mount, mount the group name and everything. Then you can use the mount point. Now your volume is ready to access. So see, apps volume is ready. To make it permanent, as you already know how to make it permanent, you need to add into the FS tab entry so that it is available to you can make it entry slash apps and group name and all whatever you do. So the we need to provide the complete path. We need to provide the complete path here. The path is this one, like this one, mapper device and all. So that is to make it permanent. And whenever the server is rebooted, it is automatically coming up. So that is the main important thing. So please go ahead. Any questions here about this VI ETCFS tab? So you can increase the file system and all. So just hold on. So that is the FS tab. VI ETC FS tab is the file system. You can make it permanent, and the file system is available and all. So that is the very easy way how to create the volume, logical volume manager, and how to see the volume also. You can understand. You already checked that. Then you already know how to create the file system. So before going to how to increase the file system, any questions here? Anyone? How to increase the file system? I will
So
explain.
we have taken 2 GB 2 disks now, and we made it as 3 GB volume LV.
Yes, yes.
And where is that 1 GB?
Yeah, that is VGS. You can see it is available free.
Okay.
That you can increase whenever you want. That's what we are doing now. Suppose the customer is asking increase this file system to another 500 MB or 1 GB like that. So then we need to increase. If the space is available in VZ, right, VZ, then you can directly increase LV resize command. LV resize, this is increasing only volume. Suppose this is, you are just increasing volume of 1 GB, so you can increase, that's all. So that means it is little more like for example 500 MB suppose. So you can increase 500 MB space. Yes, it is increased now. So just LV resize is the command hyphen size, how much size plus, and you need to provide all the path, so you can able to increase the file system size. So now if you see LVS, you can see the 3.49 GB instead of 3, but you will not see the space space increased here. That means volume you increased, but the file system is not increased. The file system you are resizing this, but the most important, you can able to do this online. You can increase the how to increase the file system means, first you need to check is there any free space is available in the group. Then you can use the resize command to increase the volume. I mean LV resize command. Then you can, after resizing command will increase only volume, but not the file system. To increase the file system again, so that we need to use resize to and command. Now you can able to see the file system is increased 3.4 instead of 3. So you can easily increase the file system, just 2 steps. LV resize, I mean LV increase is the one command. So there is a 2 commands. One command is LV resize, then resize to FS. These 2 commands you need to use to increase the file system. So please go ahead. Any questions here? So resize command. Sometimes you can decrease the volume also. So decreasing volume is, reducing means you can't do online. Make sure. So if no space is available, you can add the disk to the OS again, same story. then bring into the PV create, then VZ create and extend. Same story, like how to increase the volume. Suppose if the space is available, then you did right. Imagine there is no space VGS, there is no much space, 500 MB. Customer is asking another 1 GB. Then the same story, what you can do, you can go to the OS and you can add the new disk of 1 GB or 2 GB. How much you can increase, how much he is expecting, just add that much space into the OS level first. So I mean, like storage level, then that space you can attach to the server first. That space you can attach to the server. So you can attach to the server. So once you attach to the server, that's all, you are all set. So once you attach, then you can able to see the disk from here, fdisk-l. You can able to see extra disk. So this disk, same story, pvcreate. First you need to bring into the LVM control, pvcreate os to storage to OS is there. Then you already added to this. Then VZ extend, extend is the command. You are adding VZ underscore apps. You are adding 1 FPS. Now you can see the VGS. Can you see this 252.5? I mean 2.50 GB available, 2 GB available, 2.5, because like the other one is 50 GB, 500 MB is from old. Okay, so now you can able to see you added, you bring into the OS control, then you added to the LVM, you bring into the LVM control, then you added VZ extend, that is extended your volume group by adding this, and your volume group is ready. So once it is ready, then you do the same, like how to increase LV resize and the same story, resize to affairs. Very simple. Okay, just you can spend some time and you can do. So now coming to how to resize, reduce the volume. Volume reduce is not possible by online. So you need to bring down, like bring down means this unmount the file system. First we need to unmount the file system to reduce the file system. That is the most important. So now coming to df-h, so this volume you need to apps, right? Unmount the volume first. So once you unmount the volume, then you need to run the file system checking is there any errors in this before reducing. So this is mandatory step. So after that, the volume, the reverse, previously what we did, we increase the volume, then file system. Here first file system you need to reduce. So what level you want, like for example I have the volume now. So what is the volume? LVS. So what is the volume of this thing? 3.49 GB. So I want to reduce to 3.49 to 3, suppose 3 GB. I want to make it 3. So now LVS, you'll not see the it is reduced. So that means the only file system is reduced. Only file system is reduced, but not the volume. To reduce the volume, instead of LV increase, we are doing LV reduce. LV reduce command will reduce the command, reduce to 3 GB. See, this is very important thing we need to understand here. How much you are reducing is the most important, 500 MB. So you are reducing -L to 500 MB. So reduce, do you want? Yes. So now you reduced the volume of 500 MB. Now if you see LVS 3GB, otherwise instead of if you say -3 or something, then you will lose the data. So how much you want to reduce, right? So you need to make sure here resize to where you want, 3 GB, and how much you want to reduce, 500 MB. Instead of 500, if you say you feel like, okay, -3, then it is going to be available only 1 GB. Sometimes you may lose the data because the data is already loaded to this file system. So it's very important and very, very dangerous also. So make sure uh, before performing this. So then coming to mount mount-a, I am mounting the file system now. Again, you can see there is a 3 GB again. So this is really, really important. Okay, so go ahead. Any questions here? Anyone? Any confusion about all these things, like how to create the file system, how to, I mean, what is LVM, why we go for LVM, and how to increase file system, how to decrease file system when we are increasing, when we are decreasing, if the space is available, if not space is available, like some questions here. Okay, so that is something. So thanks everyone. So please go ahead. Any questions here? Suppose
This
you don't
conference
want
will now be recorded.
Suppose you don't want this file system anymore, you just unmount the file system. Unmount the file system first. Okay, so then you can destroy destroy remove remove, I think remove, yeah, remove, and the group name directly you can delete the group. That group will delete entire stuff. So see, if you delete the group, so the group will delete everything. So it is saying volume is deleting, logical volume is deleting, and everything. Now you don't see LVS, you don't see VGS, you don't see PVS. It is there because the disk is under volume group. Then you don't want even this disk from PVS, just PV remove, PV RE remove, RE remove. You can remove the disk also from complete from here. So then you don't see the PVS also. So this way you can also decrease the, and you can make sure you need to remove from FS tab, because sometimes you need to remove, otherwise, yeah, you better is remove, because whenever the system is coming, it won't come. So because it is looking for the disk always. Okay, so that is how to, then the last step is you need to detach from the server also. So from, if it is coming from AWS, you can detach from the OS also, and you can, yeah, I'm just detaching from OS. This is the final step. Detach from the OS and remove from the, detach from the OS from AWS. So we are almost there. Now you are all set to delete the volume also. So you can delete one by one. Yeah. So it is still detaching, look like. Then you can, okay, I will take care about this. But you just need to detach in use. It is saying why it is. Yeah, it is taking little bit time. Yeah, it is deleted now. So this way you can detach and you can delete the volume, and your volume is ready to delete, and you are all set and inform to the team. So any questions, anyone? I'm just detaching from AWS and deleting from AWS because we don't want to keep it here too. Yeah. Thanks everyone. We'll meet tomorrow.